Welcome back. This is John Locke, and today I want to talk about a subject. I haven't had to think about this for a very long time, but the subject that I want to talk about today is why, if you're a SEO and you're trying to rank a client, or maybe you're an in-house SEO and you're trying to rank your company, going and trying to narc off other people for black hat activities, it's the weakest tactic that you could ever employ. It's the weakest strategy that you could have and why it very rarely works. And also I want to talk about why the SEO community looks down on it in general. Okay, so what really made me think about this, and I have not had to think about this particular subject in a very long time, but I saw a Twitter exchange between an SEO and Google representative John Mueller. Now, John Mueller, for those who don't know, he is a Google employee. He's a representative. He's basically one of the most public faces of Google. He has a show on YouTube where he answers questions that SEO people might have. He tries to give them kind of vague answers because he's not going to give away the secret sauce. But he does try his very best to, point people in the right direction. And anyway, on Twitter, I saw somebody, and they saw a result. Somebody was ranking at number 2 for some highly competitive term that has a really high keyword difficulty, and they don't have a lot of backlinks, this person was saying to John Mueller. And so they must be using a private blog network, and they must be doing something dirty behind the scenes. They must be using some sort of black hat technique or cheating somehow. Look, I can tell you from not only people that I've talked to, but personal experience. If you go around, if your strategy is basically to try and narc out like everybody that's using black hat or some sort of link scheme or some sort of thing like this, it's not going to work. Because for one, getting a manual penalty is not as easy as you think it would be. Google doesn't actually give out that many manual penalties. You usually have to do something pretty nefarious. I've actually had clients where they have competitors that rank really high, and they were using link schemes, and they were using kind of weird, strange, unnatural linking mechanisms, shall we say. The problem is a lot of time when you're assuming, you're supposing that the only reason why these things are ranking is because of some sort of black hat activity. That's usually wrong. That's usually not the case. There usually is some other reason why these pages can rank, and oftentimes regular customers and regular people are finding what they need, and they're getting what they want out of these pages. And it's not necessarily just unnatural links or private blog networks or link schemes that are doing it. And that's a fact that you have to face. It's not always the case. Black hat, maybe it helps a little bit, maybe it doesn't in cases like that. But oftentimes, Google says that they ignore a lot of these link schemes, private blog networks. If they know that they're looking at a private blog network, then they ignore it. If they know that they're looking at one. Sometimes they do and sometimes they don't. But if your strategy is to just go around and narc out everybody who's doing something, at some point you're going to run into a situation where there's nobody left to narc out. And there's no competitors left that are using black hat techniques. And you're going to have to figure out why your client site or your company site, if you're in-house SEO, is not ranking as good as it could be. SEO is a lot like forensic science. You have to deduce why certain things rank. Sometimes Google just pushes pages to see how they'll do. And it's not always some nefarious thing or some hidden PBN. Sometimes Google just pushes pages to see how they'll do. It's called machine learning. But if your strategy is to just narc out everybody that's doing something shady or could be construed as black hat, at some point you're going to run into just white hat competition. And in that moment, your SEO skills are going to have to be better than the competition. So like I said, a lot of it has to do with content, links, UX, design, off-page signals, reviews. Are people getting what they want? Are you hitting the search intent correctly? And all of that can't be explained away always by black hat SEO. So I hope I'm making myself clear. You got to be a better SEO than your black hat competitors sometimes, and that's just the way it goes. You can't rely on Google to just automatically give everybody a manual penalty and make sure that your site is number one. Sometimes you just got to work a little bit harder and figure out what it is you need to do to change and make your site rise to the top, because there's a lot of competition in any type of field, and this is all about competition. Narking people out isn't going to get it. All right, so let's talk about why the SEO community looks down on this. Okay, for one, I think people look at it as a weak tactic. They look at it as you're not good enough to get the results, so you're resorting to tattletaling. I think that that's a big reason why the SEO community looks down on it, especially, a lot of people out there, they just look at it as weak. The other factor that you're looking at too is if you're narking out these other sites, you're not only affecting the SEO person or people that are behind it, but you're affecting the actual company. And I think that's an argument that a lot of people will put out there as well, is you are affecting people's jobs. And if you go and narc out some black hat SEO, then you're not just hurting that SEO, you're hurting the actual company and all the people who are gainfully employed from that company. That's an argument that I see a lot, that you're not just affecting the SEO behind it, you're affecting the people who work for that company. So my advice to you is this: don't rely on Google to be the schoolyard teacher that's gonna punish the bully, or they're gonna punish the kid that's cheating. They're not going to just swoop in and manual penalty every site that you say is using black hat techniques or cheating. My advice would be nail search intent, deliver better content, have a better designed site, get better links, get better off-page signals, and actually build that brand for that company. Life is not always fair, and there can only be one site at number one, and there can only be one at number two. Your job as an SEO is to put your clients in a good enough position to where they're getting traffic from as many sources as possible, and they're ranking competitively for as many terms that are going to bring them business as possible. So rise to that challenge and do the best you can. Obviously mitigate risk for your clients. Don't put your clients in a position where they might be penalized or they might get a manual penalty. Definitely, please do not put them in that sort of position, but go out there and rise to the challenge. That's my 2 cents. My name is John Locke. My business is Lockdown Design and SEO. I'm here on a daily basis giving SEO tips and advice. If you got a question, leave it in the comments below. That's all I got for now. Until next time, peace.